You're paying people hundreds of thousands of pounds or euros for a job in marketing, a job in advertising, a job to print out a paper, an article that will get the attention. And that is what you do. I'm sorry, but that's unacceptable.
Can I just touch on that?
Go for it.
I did get racially abused when I was there. Welcome back to the MVP podcast. My name is B-Man and I'm here with the Mandem, and I want to forewarn you that we are going to touch upon a topic that is extremely controversial, but also just it's affecting a lot of people. I think we can all agree on that.
I agree. Yeah.
Right? So our apologies. We're not actually touching on the actual subject itself. We're just going to focus on the football at hand and how it's affecting the players. Nothing else. And then kind of maybe looking into a few more things that have been happening around the world also. So we'll start off with the biggest one, which is Ozil recently had a lot of stuff to say about some controversial stuff that's been going on around the world. And there's been a massive pushback on him personally, where FIFA had removed him out of the game. PES had removed him out of the game. And there's been a lot of backlash on his end to a point where people have said that he shouldn't be playing for the Arsenal Football Club again. Right? So my question to you is this. Is the league responsible to protect their players, whether they are right or wrong? Or if a player speaks out on social injustices, should the player be liable at all times?
Okay, so to take your question, I'm going to answer it in two ways. I'm going to answer the first, the league. So yes, the league has a right and responsibility to protect its players and the teams because that's its product.
Correct.
At the end of the day, if what the player or the team is doing is out of order, if it's disrespectful or if it is offensive, then by all means it should put sanctions upon that player or that team. It should punish in whichever way. But if the player is just doing something that is their responsibility or they see as their responsibility, then by all means, the league doesn't have anything to do with it. If that player wants to go and, make a claim or, seek help or put awareness on a certain situation, then, you've got 20-something million followers on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and all these things. And, you're playing for one of the best clubs in the world. You're in London, capital city, one of the hubs of the world, then absolutely, it is your job. It is your job. And he sees that as his responsibility. It's why I stand with Colin Kaepernick. It's why I stand with Egg Reed. All these people. It's a completely separate topic. But what they're doing...
But they're doing the same thing.
They're pioneers. They're pioneers. And in 40, 50, 60 years' time, people are going to look up to those people and say, that guy made a difference. It's because of that guy that now we can do X, Y, and Z.
Okay, now let me ask you this, Sosa. If you were in Ozil's shoes, knowing what you have to lose, would you have taken the same route that he took?
Yeah, I mean, if it means that much to you, if it's a cause that you believe in, then there should be nothing that holds you back.
What about you, Danny?
So much respect for him.
Yeah.
Because he knows what he's got and he knows what he's had and the amount of guts he's got and the amount of heart he's got to do what he did. Me personally, would I do it? I don't know if I'd be that strong enough. I'd like to think I am, and I'd like to think that any injustice that's done in the world, I could highlight that to the people. But I can't really answer that question that if I would, because I've not been in his situation.
No. I'm not talking about his specific situation, guys, right? I'm not talking about his, I'm just talking about social injustices everywhere in the world. Right?
We need people to speak up again. It's a freedom of... we live in a society where, we are free to say what we want to say. Okay. So we should stand up against these.
Now, it's not... Sorry, Sosa.
No, I was going to say, just as a counterpoint, if it is a freedom that we have to speak up, it seems like he's being punished for that.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't be punished for that. That's the thing.
But you have to remember that the punishment that he had, and the league hasn't sanctioned him.
The league hasn't
sanctioned
him.
The reason why FIFA and PES took him out for more than anything has got to do with financial things, and they have their own images to protect. Just like Ozil and Arsenal and the Premier League, they all have their own images to protect. But there's been plenty of times where there have been injustices in football where I always felt like they could do more. And last week was a prime example of what happened. Lyon were playing in a Champions League game, and I swear it escapes me who they played. And their left back, and his name escaped me as well. One of the fans came on with a picture of a donkey saying, "Get out, get out, get out." And, he felt that strongly about it. And I'm talking about Memphis Depay here, felt so strongly about it that he confronted that person. Because remember, the person wasn't in the stands. The person actually came out onto the pitch to do that. So they were next to the goal. So he felt the need to go up to them, tried to grab the banner, and it looked like it was about to escalate into a fight. Now, Ozil's situation is much bigger than anything that I've seen in a long time. But in this situation, I'm going to ask the same question again. Should the league not step in and do something about it, whether it's UEFA or whoever?
Yeah, they should. They should. Sorry to cut you up, but they should. It's not why people shouldn't give racial or, you know what I mean, that kind of, how do you say it, man? That kind of abuse to a footballer. Yeah. Like, what gives people rights to do that? Like, he's just doing his job, you know what I mean? Because he makes a mistake and you might dislike him for making a mistake, it doesn't give you a right to be nasty to a person. You know what I mean? To do something offensive to a person. So yeah, by totally, and they aren't doing enough, because every week you're hearing, it's not a new thing you're hearing about this racism. Look at the Italian league, you know, when they did that thing with the three monkeys. Yeah. That's another example.
That was a funny one.
That's not even a funny one. That's that's disgraceful.
They missed the mark.
Absolutely disgraceful. I'm sorry.
I don't get that. How do you?
You're paying people hundreds of thousands of pounds or euros for
campaign.
A job in marketing, a job in advertising, a job to print out a paper, an article that will get the attention, and that is what you do. I'm sorry, but that's unacceptable. How are they going to go and print something like that out? It doesn't make any sense. What you're trying to tackle, one of those things was monkey jeers and monkey chants, and, you know, those kind of taunts were being used against certain players, and then you go and use monkeys in the article. I'm sorry, but that's just not on. I can't accept that.
No, it's a bit baffling, that.
Yes, sometimes, like, for some reason I feel like either the media is more on it and feels like they're gaining more viewership by talking about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Or it's just been happening for that amount of time and they just didn't care enough. You know how the media works in a way that what could get us the most clicks.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether or not it's a case of, well, there's actually more racial tension now, or whether or not the media just jumped on it now and it's actually been happening for God knows how many years.
It's been happening for years.
But has it been happening so often?
I think it has always been there. It's not like it's just popped up or it's got escalated. It's always been there. It's just now with the case of there being social media and everyone, we've got to a stage where a lot of people are quick to react to certain situations, whether it is a racial chant, whether it's like, you know, discrimination on the field. So people are more in tune with that. People are more aware of that. That's why we're able to call it out much more easier. Whereas before, people were more shy to react to something and people would be more likely to speak out.
I think the internet gave a voice to a lot of people as well. Like, people can hide behind,
and that's the thing.
Footballer, like picture profile. What do you call them? You know what they use as their own picture on emojis on Twitter and stuff like that. People can hide behind that. Like, Twitter needs to do more. Facebook needs to do more. Like,
but Facebook and Twitter, I believe they have.
They're trying.
Social media has. Because they also put an onus on the users themselves to flag it up. So you have got you can report it, and then they check it and it gets banned. So I think social media is doing as much as they can to make sure that that there's no racial abuse. But the reality is, there's nothing stopping them from making another account and doing it again.
We all have jobs, yeah? And not one of us in our job deserves any derogatory term thrown at us, regardless of the situation. So why is it acceptable for people to do it to footballers?
The thing with fans is they think because they've paid 100, 200, 30, 40, 50 pound, whatever it may be, they think that gives them the license to say absolutely anything they want.
Someone's paid me at work for a service that I've provided. It doesn't give them a right,
that does not give you a right. You know, any racist, homophobic, sexist, whatever, any fan out there that thinks they've got the right to say whatever they want, I'm sorry, but that is not how the world works. It's not how this works. It's not meant to be that way. And it's just sad that we have to sit here and talk about these things in this day and age, to be honest. It's actually quite sad because aren't we better than that as people? Aren't we meant to be better than that? But clearly there's a small minority which are ruining it for the majority. And that's what it is.
It's kind of like, and this is a quite strange one to me, because the truth is, the way that I see it is, it doesn't matter where you are, no abuse is allowed, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's kind of a stand. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're enclosed with your friends or with your family or out and about, it doesn't matter. You treat everyone with respect. But there's this really strange thing where football fans feel like their section or their stadium, or like especially the ultras, where they feel like their section is like a safe haven for them. And I've mentioned this before on a podcast, right? But it's the Lazio fans who have said that women do not belong in that particular stand, right? It's our stand. You see what they just said there? Mm-hmm. You see what they did?
Yeah.
It's our stand. It's as if they have made the rules in that section of the world, just that little section in the world. They have made the rules, and this is what we are going to do, and there's nothing that you can do about that.
So they're trying to make a crime acceptable, basically.
Basically, yeah.
So they believe they're above.
Do you know what's crazy? This is completely side, but I've been to Rome. I think you've been to Rome as well, haven't you?
I have.
You've been to Rome.
No.
You've been to Rome, I know. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I had one of the best experiences there. You know, as a British Asian, yeah, no abuse, wonderful, lovely people, and it's crazy because it's just a minority that are absolutely ruining it for everyone.
Can I just touch on that?
Go for it.
I did get racially abused when I was there.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's mad.
And a couple of my friends got racially abused. I got racially abused on the train. Everyone got ignored, but I had to show my ticket because I was sat in first class.
That's ridiculous.
Everyone else got passed by.
That's ridiculous.
But when he noticed that I was there, only asked me for my ticket. Another instance, also in Rome, on a separate occasion, my friends were not allowed to sit in the restaurant. They told them that you have to go to another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, two different people, same city, different experiences.
It's
ridiculous.
It's the truth of the matter is, like, a truly educated person cannot be racist. That's my take on it.
I don't think it's got anything to do with that. I think it's more empathy. You know,
as in what sense?
Like, if you have empathy and you can understand where someone is coming from, maybe then can you understand what impact it's having on that individual, like how your actions are impacting that individual. They don't have empathy for whatever cohort or group of people that they are abusing. They don't have any empathy for them. They don't understand how they are feeling.
More so on a human level. I also think they're brain dead, Balak. I think, generally, I think you're being very understanding of it.
No, I'm not. That's not.
I don't mean as in the racism.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding as in.
Yeah, no.
You, like, in
but
a
them
way,
from their perspective. But no, but that's the truth. In order for you to be able to, in order for you to be able to treat them with respect, first you need to understand them, and there's no understanding between the people.
I think it's the life that they live that they don't understand where that other person's come from.
It's ignorance, isn't it?
As a matter of fact, I just remembered a story that I read on BBC this week.
Okay,
and let me break it down for you, right? There's a club in Israel.
I've read this story.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
I read the whole article. It's really long.
It's really good.
Listen to this.
It's a really good read. So they have a policy amongst the fans themselves, and as a club, they had a policy where they will not accept certain type of players. Well, not maybe type, certain players with a certain background, right? It's on BBC if you want to go and read that. It's just out there, it's open. So the club got taken over by a new owner, and the new owner, his mission was to eradicate any negativity that was coming from the fans. May it be, one of them that they mentioned is getting a Arab
Arab player.
An Arab player.
Israeli player.
Arab Israeli player. That's the one it was. Yep. Arab Israeli player, or getting like an African player to come in.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't care what anyone does or says. If anyone is being racist or abusive towards any of the players involved within this club, you are getting fined 1 million.
1,000.
Was it 1,000?
I think it's 1 million. 1 million.
It was 1 million. Yeah.
You're right.
I am suing them for 1 million.
I'm suing them for 1 million.
Yeah.
Any fan.
Yeah. I'm suing you for 1 million. And guess what? It was improving.
It's improving.
It was improving.
They didn't I think they signed 2 guys from Chechnya, both
They
Muslim.
did, correct.
And they didn't take to those guys very well in 2013. But this season, I think they had a guy with the guy, Ali Mohammed, his name is on his back of his jersey. And he scored.
And they celebrated.
And they were all celebrating. They were cheering his name.
Yeah.
And that actually made me happy because that team has got history, from what I read, of being quite racist towards Arab Israelis. And to see that, it's, you know, there's good people out there. You know, you can see that there's one guy, an owner, has made a change.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Yeah, it took a change in culture.
Absolutely.
And the funny, no, one's not the funny thing, but there, even in the article, there was another guy that was involved in it, and he said, well, the reason why everyone is accepting of it, and I thought that was a really good point to make, the reason why people were accepting of it was because the club was doing well.
That makes sense.
We can't judge it until the club stops succeeding. And then we can see really what the players, what the fans are really made up of. Because they even had, and I'm looking at you because you read it. I'm so happy you did. Honestly, I'm so happy you did. They've at a younger level, he's got kids from both the east and the west of Jerusalem and brought them together, whether they were Arab, Israeli or not. They brought them all together and try and get it from a lower level down. Yeah. But the funny thing is, this guy is doing everything that fans have been screaming about. Everything they've been screaming about. Get them from a young age was something that people have been saying for years. It starts, a lot of people said it starts with parents or it starts with this stuff. He's making the fans accountable. Yes. The players are now accountable because he set such a high standard and literally put them on a platform for them to succeed and have a fan base that will back them regardless, right? As it stands anyway. Yes. As it stands anyway. But why has no one actually looked at that and said, well, why don't we adopt that method then? Maybe perhaps because the stadiums now are just too big and you can't pick them out. But then again, people have said that. You've got technology. Yeah, Juventus have got facial recognition and stuff. Like, it's a baffling thing really for me. But that was a really feel good story. That was generally, if you get a chance, lads, it's a good way to end this on BBC. Deep pod. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I did say that was going to be a little bit controversial, but thank you for listening, and we are going to be back again soon. So, peace.